I need to get this temp probe into the kettle, so I guess I can just do this. Except I absolutely despise the idea of a pinched wire. I guess I could just feed it down through the upper vent hole, like that. But then what happens when I have to take the lid off to check it? My probe's gonna pull out. Nope, and nope. I've got a better idea. Hi everybody, and thanks for stopping by. So what's my better idea for getting a sensor wire into the Weber kettle, or any kind of kettle grill like this with sort of the thin metal walls? What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a slot in both the lid and the body below so that the sensor wire can pass right through. Now I'm going to be using a Dremel to do this. I could use a grinder, but because this has an enamel coating on it and I've blown a little bit of it out when I drilled through to secure the mounts for my rotisserie, I want to use something a little more gentle. So doing the Dremel cut with a thinner cutting wheel will work better here, I believe. So the first thing I need to do is choose where this slot is going to go. This is how I have my kettle set, with the vent lined up with the front handle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go just to the right of the handle to put in this slot. So one of the first things I need to do is mark where my slot is going to go. The first thing I want to mark is the lower part, where I'm not going to come down below on the cut. So I'm going to make a mark right there. You'll see that shows me where the lower limit of the lid is. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a mark on the lid lined up with that. Doesn't mean I'm going to cut this entire way, but I'm marking it. So now I've got my mark on the lid and the lower limit mark on the body of the kettle. Now I'm going to lift the lid and I'm going to transfer this mark in the center up onto the lip. That's going to show me where my cut is going to be on the body. So before I start cutting with the Dremel, you may be asking, why don't I just put in a silicone sensor port like I did in the Oklahoma Joe's Highland offset? Well, there are a couple issues. First, can't put it in the lid because that would be the same problem as having a sensor wire going through the vent hole. Every time you lift the lid, you'd have the wire dragging along. And I can't put it down here in the lower kettle because this is extremely close to the charcoal. Now, those silicone sensor ports are made to withstand heat, but I don't believe they're made to withstand direct contact with flame and extremely hot charcoal. In the Oklahoma Joe's Highland, it's at the opposite end from the firebox. You're getting maximum 300 degrees here. Down in here, you can be getting 700, maybe even 800 degrees if you have an extremely hot fire going. So for those two reasons, the silicone sensor port mod just wouldn't work here, I don't believe. It's not the best solution. I think this slot, for me, is the best solution. So it's time to get cutting. Got to get my safety glasses on. Okay, so there is the rough slot. I'll have to clean up those edges a bit so it's not too abrasive on any wire going through there. But now it's time to do the same slot in the lid. Okay, so just checking alignment in the lid before I do the cut there. You can see how the lip of the lid covers virtually all of the slot. So by just going up to that line that I've marked on the lid, you can have a very small opening. I don't even have to go the whole way. Now I could fit a wire through there right now just going through the slot in the kettle body, and it would clear the lid without being pinched. But if I want to put multiple wires in there to have a probe and a meet, to have a probe for the temp of the kettle, I don't want them all bunched up and pinched it that way. So I'm still going to cut a small slot in the lip of the lid. Now in order to hold the lid securely so that I can cut it, here's what I'm going to do. I have the cooking grates and the charcoal grate taken out of the interior of the kettle, and I'm going to lay an old canvas cloth in there. Then I'm going to rest my lid with the mark on this side, and that's secure. And there is our slot in the lip of the lid. Let's see how they line up. You can see our slot in the kettle. Let's see how we line up here. Looks good to me. Now let's test it with the wire. So here's my sensor probe wire going through. And there you go. No pinching, plenty of room if I want to put multiple wires. You can see that. Still need to clean up the edges so it's not too sharp, but this is going to work much better than having to shovel wire underneath the lid and pinching it with the kettle body. Now, question, is this right here going to bother me in terms of a hole where heat, smoke, anything could come out? It's small. If I want, I can turn the lid a little bit this way, it'll help, but I'm not that concerned about this. You know, I always have the vent open partially on top at least. The vent is where heat is going to escape. This is for access, and I think this is going to work really well for the sensor wire. So there you have it. Very simple modification to the Weber Kettle to allow sensor wires to pass through without having to put in silicone grommet, which I don't think would withstand the heat, or to pinch it or to go through the vent holes. I think this is going to work much better for me. Now, of course, me doing this, I know I void the warranty, but I've done that before. I'm modifying this. I'm getting it the way I want it. Whether you want to do it, that's up to you. But my next cook where I'm going to need sensor wires going through here, that'll be the real test. I'm pretty sure it's going to work just the way I want it. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like. It sure does help. And if you want to see more videos like this, consider subscribing to my channel. That way you'll get notifications whenever I put out a new video. If you're interested in anything that I used in this video, I'll put links down in the description so you can check them out yourself. Thanks again for watching. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you again soon.